I started my new year watching a Bengali short film called Ma, or The Mother in English, directed by Diptesh Datta. And to be very honest, I am blown away by the kind of thought process that they have put in, the production they have had, and the promotions they did. In one word, I felt they are no less than a full-fledged production house. So I thought of doing a review for them because they created a movie, so they deserve a review. This video will be a review of the Bengali short film Ma, directed by Diptesh Datta. The film starts off with four young girls walking around the streets of Calcutta and taking photographs of random people they're meeting and some of the famous landmarks of the city. The shots taken depicts the city well and gives the audience a clear idea about the city of joy and its people. The four girls taking shots at places like Shambazar or having biryani at Arsalan or strolling by the Ganges correctly portrays some of the things every Calcuttan must have done in their lifetime. The story starts off with an easy note with relevant background score until the girls come across an old lady who's sitting outside a temple hopelessly asking for some food from the girls. And this encounter with the old lady is somewhat the change in direction of the plot, which the director has correctly addressed. Follows a long conversation between the lady and the girls, conversation on a politically turbulent India, conversation on her not so pleasant married life, and finally the last nail to the coffin, her giving birth to a daughter in a family where everyone expected or wanted to have a son. The past of the lady drawn at this juncture is pretty convincing. The director has skillfully used animation instead of real shots, which has done enough justice to the entire duration of the film. The lady goes on detailing about the hardships that she had to undergo for the upbringing of her daughter, being disowned by her family and her in-laws, which is extremely relevant in today's context as well. Going back to the hardships, though it did take a toll on the lady's life, she did not let it impact on the growing up of her daughter, who comes out to be a meritorious young woman. Soon, this young woman gets married to the person whom she knew from her childhood days, and eventually they relocate to a different place altogether, leaving behind this lady in an old age home. Later, they ceased all contacts with her. And this turns the plot to a different direction altogether when the lady comes out of the old age home not being able to pay the monthly rent and starts living on the streets. The conversation continues with the girls until one of the kind-hearted girls decide to come back the next morning with one of their teachers to find a solution to this lady's problem and get her a shelter. However, things take its own turn and they do not move in the way as expected. The daughter of the lady comes back in a situation and then she finds out it was already too late for her to come back. And this point is the prime climax of the movie, which I do not want to ruin in this video. So let's go to the pros and cons of the film. Now coming to the pros and cons of the movie, I'd like to go with the pros first. Firstly, the storytelling style of the director is pretty unique and the dialogues and situations are quite relatable. The director tried to pass on a very strong message through this movie and has successfully done it. The screenplay is quite convincing. However, the strongest point or the showstopper of the film is the usage of Tagore's songs. Music takes away the lion's share of the credit for Ma. The usage of songs could never have been any better. Now coming down to the drawbacks of the film, I did not like the editing much because there were quite a few dark spots in the film which could have been edited out during the editing process, but they were not done. Secondly, the casting could have been better, I felt, because while Priya was rightly casted and she did her best to justify the character, the other three girls were the kind of weak spots in the film. Also, the casting of the main lead, the old lady, could have been better. There were times when I felt that the actors were plain overacting and delivering dialogues which were completely out of sync. Finally, the makeup could have been better, especially when you're showing an age time lapse. It's very important that the makeup is properly put. For Ma, I felt that the makeup should have been or could have been better than what it was. However, when you compare Ma with any other contemporary short film which is available on YouTube or any other platform, Ma definitely stands out. I will rate Ma 3 on 5 and I genuinely believe you should click on the link in the description box and go and watch Ma on YouTube and share your valuable feedback with the team, with Diptesh and all the actors, because this finally matters to people who are creators, who are trying to do something off the track. So that's it for Ma. And if you think this review is relevant and it makes any sense, you can share this one with the people you love, with your friends, with your colleagues, but do tell them to watch Ma first.